how can you trust yourself again? See, I have these type A women, these driven, competitive, perfectionist women who've gone through an experience where they've panicked while driving or while flying or being in the supermarket in line or something like that. And ever since then, life's never been the same. And yet, in their life, they either kickbox or they go to the gym all the time, or they're runners or whatever it might be, or they run a business, whatever it is, but they have this strength inside of them. But when it comes to getting on the plane or being in traffic or being in a closed room or being in the supermarket in the line, oh my God, just this terrible sensations come over them, and they don't trust themselves that they are going to be okay in those moments. Now, when we're on our calls together, I show them very specifically how to turn those feelings off, meaning how to authentically and immediately change how they feel from full anxiety and symptoms to feeling calm in a heartbeat, like fully calm in a heartbeat. And they're always like, wow, like I feel this, like that, Jesus, I feel so much better. But then the one question always comes up, which is, I don't know how to make that happen when I'm in the situation. Now, I show them how to do this on the calls as well. But one thing I wanted to tell you in this video here, or explain to you rather, is imagine if you could take the feelings of feeling totally calm and bring that to being in the supermarket, or bring that to being on the plane, or bring that to being in the car, where the second that you think of being in the car or in traffic, or the second that you think about getting onto that plane, or the second you think about being in line at the supermarket, that idea immediately triggers you to feel calm. Where the more you get closer to being in the car, the more calm and in control you feel. The closer you get to the plane, right? The closer you get to boarding the plane, the more and more and more calm you feel. That's exactly how I help my client Trin. Check it out.
I had an extreme fear and anxiety when it came to flying. So that was my biggest fear in life. I was definitely a little bit skeptical before I worked with Tyler, because I had worked with someone before and it didn't help me at all. I was doing some breathing exercises, nothing helped me. I struggled with that for the past 5 or 6 years. I was really terrified of flying. My hands and palms were always sweaty, my heart was racing. I was completely consumed by fear. And now, after working with him, I feel confident. I feel like I am over my fear, and now I was just able to sit back, relax, watch out of the window, take photos, take videos, and really be like, I got this. So I would definitely recommend Tyler.
So regardless of the amount of health challenges that you're having, or regardless of what you might have been told by a therapist or a doctor or something else like that, because I know you've been to many therapists, you're not the first person to come to me to say, I've tried all these therapists, these coaches, these programs, these doctors, these medications, these exposure therapy, CBT, EMDR, nothing's worked. I get it. It's unfortunate. But what's happening is, imagine if you could go into those situations and being in that situation triggers you to feel at your absolute best. Where not only does it not bring up the symptoms and sensations of fear and dissociating from your body and all that, but actually being in that situation becomes the very trigger that makes you feel really good. Imagine how much more your life would open up again, instead of getting smaller and smaller and smaller and then needing to rely on your husband or your family, your parents, whatever it might be, so you can be the best mom or woman in general that you want to be again. That is how you begin to build trust with yourself. Not through affirmations, not through positive thinking, not through just basic mindset stuff, but by actually changing the triggers in your nervous system, whether you know the actual specific triggers or not, like what you're doing in your mind and body to fire those feelings off. Imagine if we took I'm not editing that out. Imagine if we took a CD off of a CD player and we took a needle. Here's me looking for a needle. There's nothing around here, but we took a needle and a pen. Or we took a needle and a CD, and we took that needle and we scratched that CD, scratch it, back and forth. Would that CD ever play the same way again? Of course not, right? So now we can throw away that CD called anxiety and symptoms, and we can put a new CD in your brain, so to speak, called feeling calm, feeling confident, feeling happy, not worrying at all. Now, whenever you think about getting into the car or on the plane or in the supermarket or wherever you used to feel stuck, this CD of calmness, confidence, happiness, not worrying plays automatically. That's how you build trust. Because it's one thing to feel trust when you just kind of change how you feel for the moment. Anyone could do that by, scrolling through our phone or taking a drug or watching TV or doing whatever it might be and distracting ourselves. It's another thing to have 100% certainty that when you're in the plane, when you're in the car, when you're in the supermarket, you are triggered to feel good. Because now you can't even think about doing any of those things without automatically feeling good. And the closer you get to your car, the better you feel. The closer you get to the supermarket, the better you feel. The closer you get to the plane, the better you feel. Now you can go on that vacation. Now you can go see your parents. Now you can be present with your kids. Now you have your whole life back, because the reason that you trust yourself is not some false promise or some positive thinking or medication or affirmations or whatever else. It's literally the fact that anytime you think about any of those situations, you automatically feel great. If that makes sense in terms of that being the way that you can trust yourself. When you think about it, you feel good. The closer you get to getting in the car, you feel better. The closer you get to getting on the plane, the better you feel. And so on and so forth. If that makes sense, and you believe that you could actually trust yourself if that was the case, then say yes, or tell me that this makes sense in the chat below this video, and I'd be happy to talk more about how I can help you to feel this way.